Are you still popping your antacids post your meals? You may be setting your gut on fire. Antacids may give you relief today, but at what cost tomorrow? What if I told you that your regular antacids may be the reason for your chronic health diseases in your future? Do you think that relief from heartburn is equal to being safe? Think again. With antacids that you are taking, are you really healing your gut, or you are just asking it to shut up and not make noise? Your stomach acid is not the enemy, but by suppressing it again and again and again, you can make it your enemy. Antacids have the capability of changing and disrupting your gut condition and the entire system. I know you are looking for relief, but let's talk about the hazardous impact and the harmful effects of those antacids that you just pick up over the counter and put it in your mouth, sometimes even without a prescription. How bad can it be? Let's delve into this. Antacids are pills that thousands of people across the world today are popping, sometimes every day, sometimes on the slightest sensation of a bloating or a flatulence or an indigestion or a slightest of a gut issue. Antacids are those pills that thousands of people are popping today on the slightest issue with their gut, with constipation, with bloating, with flatulence, with indigestion, or sometimes your reflux, acid reflux. You will see at least 1 in every 3 people you meet who has had antacids any time in their life. What I want to share with you today is the harmful effect of what that antacid can do. Each time you take an antacid because you're feeling chest burn, or you're feeling a little bloated, or you have flatulence, you are actually not helping the condition, and you are not identifying what is the root cause for that condition. You are taking the pill, you're feeling relief for a little period of time, and you believe that that relief is equal to all problems sorted. You believe that that small pill is going to solve that issue. You have never delved into what was the root cause for that sensation in the first place. You do not change your lifestyle, and when your lifestyle does not change, your pills again and again are disrupting that entire gut balance. It's not fixing the problem, it's only managing it for a little bit of relief for an interim time. But in the long run, regular usage can lead to an IBS, which is your irritable bowel syndrome. It can lead to severe gut issues like Crohn's disease. It can lead to a celiac. It can be a constipation. It can be a diarrhea. It can be a leaky gut. It can be an Alzheimer's disease. It can be kidney problems, it can be bone-related issues, it can be malnutrition. Sometimes you take this antacid as a pill over the counter. Sometimes doctors prescribe it. But each time you are popping that pill inside, did you ever ask your doctor what are the side effects of taking this antacid? Next time you must. I understand that some people definitely need those antacids in chronic conditions. They are taking very heavy dose medications which requires antacids to kind of manage and balance them a little bit. But that is in emergency conditions. Let me tell you, 90% of the people who are going on popping these antacids do not really require it. Now you may be thinking that how is it that an antacid can lead to malnutrition? How is this even related? Can an antacid really cause an Alzheimer's disease, a bone disease, a kidney issue? How does that function? Let me tell you, many a times it is not a problem with the intake, it is a problem with absorption. And when your food or the nutrition that you're consuming inside your body is not getting absorbed, that is when diseases start cropping up. So each time you're popping an antacid, you are reducing the body's capability to absorb the nutrition that you are taking. So you may be thinking that I'm taking green juices, I'm taking green leafy vegetables, I'm eating fruits and vegetables and nuts and the best of food available. So why is my body still not able to absorb it? That is because of your prolonged use of antacids. Antacids also increase the dependency on it. It is very dosage dependent. So if you take an antacid today, the next time you are taking it again and again, your body's requirement of that antacid also increases. And hence you'll end up taking more and more of antacids, which is going to reduce your absorption capability even more. It is going to make you malnourished. It is going to cause a cellular malnutrition. When your cells are not getting the right nutrition, how are you supposed to be feeling energetic? How are you not supposed to be feeling fatigued? How are you supposed to be in the best of stamina and health? And how is it that you can avoid diseases if you are chronically malnutritioned at a cellular level? Did you know that it is these antacids which also have doses of aluminium into it? So prolonged use of antacids can actually lead to an aluminium toxicity, which can be very hazardous. This aluminium toxicity can lead to an Alzheimer's disease. It is this aluminium toxicity that can lead to an osteoporosis. It is this aluminium toxicity that can eventually lead to liver and kidney issues. This can lead you to bone disorders, osteoporosis, or even an arthritis. There are some type of antacids in the market which are very high on magnesium and not the right kind of natural magnesium. Now this can further lead to diarrhea-like conditions. Or it could even lead to constipation. So whether you have a diarrhea or you have a constipation, you feel the need to take extra of these antacids and the cycle goes on. Did you know that these antacids can actually reduce the absorption capability of iron into your body? So you are popping antacids on a regular basis from years altogether. May not be daily, maybe weekly. But this practice of regularly getting your body used to antacids can actually, over a period of time, reduce the iron level in your body. That means you find yourself with low hemoglobin. You find yourself with low ferritin levels. This is because your antacids have blocked the absorption of iron inside your body. So you walk up to the doctor and you tell the doctor that I have this issue. He checks up your hemoglobin is low, he checks up your ferritin levels are low, and he gives you an iron supplement. Let's understand, the iron supplement is not the solution to your problem, because even if you take the iron supplement, the problem is not with intake, the problem is with absorption. So no matter how many supplements you are taking, if the absorption is compromised, how are you supposed to gain any benefit out of that supplement? And your iron levels, your hemoglobin levels, your ferritin levels continue to show a reduced amount. Your regular dose of iron comes from vegetables and fruits and nuts and seeds. And the only time you are actually having a deficiency of iron is when your absorption ability of your gut for the absorption of iron is severely compromised. So fix the absorption problem. Popping pills is never going to be the solution. Now these antacids are also going to reduce the absorption capability of a variety of vitamins and minerals into your body. And when you are low on vitamins and minerals, what does your doctor do? He gives you supplements. Now these are those supplements that are not required for your body. It is an absorption issue, as I said. And then popping in more and more of supplements which are undesired by your body leads to liver toxicity. It is this habit that can make sure that you are not able to lose weight, because a sluggish liver cannot burn fat. Now you suddenly find yourself with a sluggish liver, you find yourself not able to lose weight, and hence you start dieting, and hence you start exercising. You go through a very severe frustration mode. Your body is taking supplements when you really do not require it. Now this toxicity can lead to a fatty liver. So fatty liver does not necessarily come from alcohol. You can find a lot of Jain population who have same problems of fatty liver without really consuming too much of junk or processed food, without consuming too much of alcohol. And the reason is the prolonged use of antacids. Watch it. It is this prolonged use of antacids that can also lead to hair fall. So a severe problem with your hair, severe problem with your skin comes from your prolonged usage of antacids. So why does this happen? Your stomach has a pH between 1 to 3. It is highly, highly acidic, and it is supposed to be so. So when your stomach is very acidic, it helps in breakdown of the food that you are consuming. It helps kill the bad bacteria. It helps kill the pathogens that come from the food, if at all they are coming from outside. This level of acidity is required inside your stomach, and then when your food passes towards the small intestine, the environment changes from an acidic to an alkaline environment. So when you are popping in those antacids, what is happening to your stomach? As soon as you pop that antacid, that acid which was supposed to be in your stomach with a high level of pH of 1 to 3 is now doused off. Imagine a fire getting doused off. So that acid is now doused off, which means that acid is neutralized. So when that acid is neutralized, it is not going to be able to break down the food extremely well. And hence a lot of undigested particles come inside your intestines. When you find a lot of undigested food inside your intestines which is not supposed to be there in the undigested form, that is when diseases start coming up. We have a thin, very thin line of a net from where the nutrition that we have consumed is now sucked into our bloodstream. That thin line now starts getting certain tears into it because the food that is going in the small intestine is now undigested. It is larger particles. It is not broken down well. And then this net starts tearing up and a lot of toxicity and undigested particles start creeping inside your bloodstream where it is not supposed to be. This problem is called a leaky gut problem. Now, when you have this leaky gut issue, your immune system suddenly flares up. When your immunity flares up, you land up into an autoimmune condition. You have invited certain autoimmune conditions, autoimmune diseases inside your body just because of that tear, because your food did not get digested in your stomach, because your stomach did not have the relevant acid into it. And that acid was neutralized or doused off by you having that antacid. And you thought antacid was helping the problem? It is these antacids that also lead to a problem of dysbiosis, which means an imbalance between your good bacteria and bad bacteria inside your gut. The good bacteria reduce, the bad bacteria increase, and hence you land up into bloating-like situation, flatulence-like situations, regular farts, smelly odor of farts. All of this happened because the breakdown in the stomach did not take place. All of this happened because the absorption capability of your body was reduced. But now to solve it, you are taking more and more drugs. You are taking more and more pills, which are again disrupting the gut microbiome. So what are some simple tips? It might sound very, very simple to you, but it has a profound impact as far as how your body reacts. When you start chewing your food well, the pressure on your stomach to break down that food is greatly reduced. And hence, you chew the food well, the mastication happens inside your mouth, you take that masticated bolus inside your stomach, then your stomach works on breakdown less because it does not really have to put so much of energy in breakdown. And hence, the amount of hydrochloric acid that it has to produce is also accurate. It does not produce excessive hydrochloric acid, does not lead to excessive acidity. Number 2, each time you are overeating more than what your body requires, this overeating also ensures that you are releasing more hydrochloric acid than what you require. And in this condition of production of more hydrochloric acid, you are going to land up into an acidic body. The third mistake is binge eating. So we take something in the morning, then we have a mid-meal, then we have something after 2 hours, then we have a lunch, then after that we want a snack, then we have a 4 o'clock snack, after which we again have a dinner, and after dinner we want a dessert, we want something before bed. Now this particular habit of tasting a little bit in between, this binge eating is not good for you, because each time you are doing binge eating, your body is releasing that hydrochloric acid, and that is what you don't want. Your body is best suited to produce hydrochloric acid every 4 to 5 hours, which means the food intake that you take should be 3 times in a day. It could be breakfast, lunch and dinner. Snacking is really not required if you take your meals right. And then just because you snacked with 4 groundnuts or 2 pieces of chips, your body produced hydrochloric acid, and it produced it in larger quantity. Your body did not require it so much, and that acid lies in your body, creates an acidic body. Increases your acidity, creates bloating, indigestion, flatulence, farting, belching, burping, all of those issues. The fourth point is to have fruits on an empty stomach. Never advised to have fruits in between your meals or as a dessert after your meals. Never do that. Fruits are instantly digested, and when they are digested, they do not want any food stuff lying before in the canal to wait for it to get digested first, pass through the canal, and then the fruits coming up through, because these fruits which quickly get digested are going to rot, ferment, putrefy if you already have an existing food load lying ahead of it in the canal. So it is important that you have fruits always on an empty stomach. Did you know that stress eating can also lead to high acidity in the body? So when you eat with a lot of stress, your cortisol levels are already high, you're not in the best of moods, that is not the best time to eat. Even Ayurveda says that when you are in extreme stress, when you are in anger, when you are in frustration, when your mood is not right, that should never be the time when you are consuming food. It will lead to an acidic body. And the sixth important point is about hydration. Yes, it is important to stay hydrated throughout the day, but it is also important to be hydrated at the right time. This is the rule of hydration. Never have your water in between your meals or after your meals. Your water should always be consumed before your meals, 30 minutes before your meals. That is when it does not disrupt the digestion process. If you want to consume your water after your meals, just a little sip is fine. But consuming like a glass full of water immediately post meals is going to douse off that acid in your stomach again. And when your stomach acid is doused off, you will suffer with indigestion. Water is best consumed post your meals after about 45 minutes to 1 hour, or before your meals about half an hour before you start eating. Some people make simple solutions. So a lemon works where you don't really require an antacid. Just put lemon into the water and keep consuming it throughout the day. It works well. You have to try it to believe it. Immediately post your meals, squeeze a little lemon into a spoon, add a little bit of water and take it like a lemon shot. It works. It helps in your digestion levels. It helps you produce the right amount of hydrochloric acid, and it helps you digest the food better, leading to lower chances of bloating and constipation and burping and belching and flatulence. Reduce your sedentary activity. It is important to move. Movement is medicine. And most importantly, did you also know that your painkillers can also be a huge cause of your increase in acidity levels of your body? So reduce on these pills, over-the-counter pills, which are easy to take and give you instant relief. But that instant relief comes at a very high cost in the future, which you may not realize today. But at a later point in time, this can lead to a chronic disease that you don't want yourself to be dealing with for months and years altogether. I hope this was useful. So the next time you want to pop an antacid, think twice. Check the side effects. Ask your doctor if it is absolutely necessary, and try some natural remedies that will work just as fine. I hope this was useful to you. If you have liked the content, please like, share and subscribe, and comment, because every comment will be personally replied by me, and I would love to hear what your experience has been. Till we meet again in another video, Namaste.